Hi everyone, it's Alistair Clark here from stuntlives.com. My next guest is, I'm just so excited. I've been trying to get this guy for so long because he's done so many of my favorite films like Top Gun Maverick. He's done the Lord of the Rings trilogy. He's done a lot of Tom Cruise films. You know, doubled up for Tom Cruise, but also did the stunt coordinating, also did some stunts for Tom Cruise as well, all the way up to Jack Reacher, did some Mission Impossible films as well. And then he's done some great TV series as well. He's got the forthcoming Fallout TV series that's coming out next year, which I'm really excited about seeing. He did the Twin Peaks TV series. He's just done so many TV series and so many films. So without further ado, I welcome you and listen to this interview to Casey O'Neill. So, Casey, thank you so much for joining me on Stunt Lives.
Awesome. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, you've been busy with your filming and things that you can say and can't say. I understand that. So, yeah.
Yes. I just got back from Oklahoma. We wrapped up on Twisters, which I was the stunt coordinator on that show, and then also ended up directing some second unit over there as well with the director Isaac Lee Isaac Chung was amazing, and Glenn Powell, which I had a reconnecting with from Top Gun. So it was a lovely experience.
Excellent. Again, that's the sequel to Twister then?
It is, yeah. It's a sequel. Well, I think it's not necessarily the next story, but it's another version of. Yeah, I rewatched the first one. It actually still holds up, but it was still a great movie. I think we've done that and more on this one, so it should be fun.
Okay, and that's coming out next year in 2024.
Yeah, I think it'll be July in the United States, July summer their release for Universal.
Brilliant. Okay. Right. So, Casey, can you tell me then? So, how did you get into stunts in the first? Or actually, let's start. What made you get into stunts in the first place?
That's a long story, but it's I've wanted to do stunts ever since I can remember. When I was a kid, I did a couple commercials as a kid, which was kind of by accident. My dad was in the business a little bit doing some acting stuff, mainly singing. His name's Johnny O'Neill, and he was on a commercial interview himself, and the lady said, "Oh, you have a cute kid. Does he do commercials?" My dad says, "No, but if something comes up with horses riding, he would be amazing." And just then the phone rang, picked it up. You're never going to believe this. And I had no pictures, no resume, nothing. So I took a Polaroid and we sent it in. Anyways, long story short, I got that commercial and then kind of caught the bug from then on. And I watched interviews with Mick Rogers, with Vic Armstrong, Terry Leonard, a lot of people that I really looked up to and saw that the work of being a stunt person was, and how exciting all that was. And I wrote it in my high school yearbook to be the best stuntman in Hollywood. So I have that in writing. But just never gave up and never stopped learning. And I still learn today as it is. But it's always just getting to the next step. So I started doing live shows early on in my career. So if there was anybody there that came in with a skill, whether it be trick riding, sword fighting, fencing, gymnastics, I would always try and get with them and learn those skills. I did a show called Winds of the Gods. It's no longer there in Vegas, but it was chariot racing, walking on stilts, dancing, bullwhip fights, like a 20-foot bullwhip wrap around someone's neck, and all this kind of stuff. So I would just learn and absorb as much as I could. And if I didn't know something, if I was doing a movie that came up that had a big bike chase or a car chase or whatever it was, I would just go tune up on those skills for that film and be prepared for what it was. So in general, as a stunt performer, you need to be very proficient in many skills, but it's nice if you know, hey, this one's all about fight. So you can brush up on your martial arts, or whether it be grappling or whatever that entails, you just really take the time and tune up on those things.
Yeah. Okay. And I suppose it goes with the territory as well, the injuries that you probably gained as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to be relatively, in pretty good shape as far as injuries goes. I have dislocated my hip. I've broken my leg, separated my shoulder, numerous sprained ankles, stitches, all that stuff. But in the scheme of things, it comes with the territory, and I've been very fortunate to stay healthy and stay fit and be able to, you know, be movable now, because a lot of stunt people get extremely banged up, and then in their later years they're having a real tough time. So not that I don't wake up with my back some days, or I wake up like, whoa, what's wrong with my shoulder? I didn't do anything. But I feel myself very fortunate to be in good shape and having gotten through all those years of abuse to your body, relatively okay.
Yeah. Okay. So was your speciality, or it was involving horses?
Yeah, horses is what got me in the business originally, but of course I do many other things. So it got to the point where I was being known as kind of the horse sort of guy. Oh, he don't want to hire him for this or that because he's just a horse cowboy, So I started taking lots of stuff. I do dirt bikes and cars and everything really. So I started taking jobs. If I had one horse job and another, riding motorcycles, I started taking the other stuff so much that everyone forgot about the reason that I got in the business. So, yeah, I've been very fortunate to use all my skills in the business and really be able to use everything I've grown up, learning for the business.
Okay. And it's a difficult question, I know, but do you have a favorite discipline that you work on? Sorry.
For me, honestly, I love the challenge of all the different things. I love to be with vehicles and do that, but I also enjoy the wire work or fights and things like that. And as far as like stunt school, I love movies without stunts too. So there's that. And I've made my living and career obviously doing stunt work, but I think there's a fine balance between the two of having a wonderful story and then incorporating the stunts where it's really exciting action that glues you to the screen and makes the story even better. So that's always I've tried to do.
Yeah. Okay. And again, probably a difficult question for you, but do you have a particular favorite stunt of yours that you've performed?
Yeah, that's everyone always asks that stuff. For me, it's I love The Mask of Zorro because that was really one of my first movies that really just got me going in the business. I never really looked back since then. And I was doubling Antonio Banderas on that. So I got to do some wonderful horseback stuff. I got to do ride my first ARM, which is a thing that throws you through the air, my first wires. Everything I did on that show was kind of a first for me because I learned so much and I got to do so many stunts. And back then, the stunts were still being done real. There wasn't a lot of CG. There wasn't a lot of wires were just coming into play. So it was a really wonderful experience for me to be a part of that one.
Yeah. Okay. And you alluded to the fact as well with the stunts, a lot of CG now as well. So that's another. Well, would you say it's a challenge or something different? I guess.
I think you work hand in hand with the special effects people. You work hand in hand with the visual effects people. But I think you're kind of the left hand shakes the right hand. You're helping each other out and you're making things better, whether it be with visual effects and CG, because you're doing the elements of people and performing or wires, but then they build the background, which is this amazing, city blowing up or whatever it might be. So it's really just collaborating with those other departments and making it together because it's really not one or the other. Really, it's both together normally.
Okay. And so do you still do stunts as well? Or are you more into the second unit directing and stunt coordinating?
Yeah, more so. I've been very fortunate to be coordinating a lot now and directing second units now, which is I love to do that. It's a whole new world for me, and I really enjoy it. And I have a lot of experience and background to do all those things. But yeah, I still every now and again I'll do something stunt wise.
Okay.
If a friend calls up or I'll drive a car or do something. I did the Brad Pitt George Clooney show last Christmas, which was fun, and I did a lot of driving in that, which was really great because a friend of mine had called me up, so I had a really great time on that. But yeah, as far as like being a stunt performer, not as much. I'm coordinating now and now directing as well, so that's my main.
Yeah, because I think I saw you in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where you were a Nazi being burned to life. So that's a different one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, we actually won a World Taurus World Stunt Award for that. There was 10 of us, and for the big fire burn where Leonardo does the flaming torch and puts us all on fire. And there was 10 of us, but I think they could only give out 6 awards or something like that. So I didn't physically take an award home. We all collectively said, hey, whoever hasn't physically received one, they should get this one. So, but in any case, I did win an award for that as well. So that was really fun.
Okay, and then also you won the award. Did you won was it a Taurus as well for Maverick as well?
Yeah, that was a Screen Actors Guild Award, which was really a huge honor. I also won a Satellite Award for that same film. But I have 3 World Taurus Stunt Awards for various things. One is the hardest hit, and another one's working with animals, being the horse stuff, and then the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But yeah, the Top Gun Maverick was extremely popular. I was very fortunate to be back with Tom again on that and in the coordinating position, and just a lovely crew, and working with the U.S. Navy was incredible. Everything about that was just an amazing experience.
Yeah, because the first one was incredible. Tony Scott, and then when I saw the second one, I actually saw Maverick 3 times in the cinema, and I just thought it's a film that needs to be seen in the cinema, I reckon. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm so glad they held on it because of COVID. People weren't going to the movies, but they held on to it for almost 3 years.
Wow.
So it could be a theatrical release, and Top Gun Maverick is exactly what you said. It needed to be seen in the theaters with the surround sound and all the amazing things that film brought to the audience. Was so receptive in a theater environment.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think potentially there could be a third one? Maybe.
I don't know. They sure made enough money to do it, so it's almost a once in a lifetime thing. I think with having that access to the Navy and being a part of everything that they bring and they offer to the show. So I don't know what the realities of another one would be, but I know it was extremely successful. And usually when that happens, they try to do another one, but I haven't heard of anything yet.
Yeah. And I did actually love the end of Maverick, where it was a nice touch to say in remembrance of Tony Scott as well. I thought that was really good.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. Okay. And yes, and then I'm just gonna, I'm a huge fanboy, if you like, with the films you've done as well. So you've done like Lord of the Rings as well. That's that a horse rider on that as well.
Yes, Lord of the Rings. I put together a lot of the horse stunts, which was all the horses charging down and clashing through the people, the soldiers, and all the battles, the elves all in a line, spinning their knives and their swords. And we had hundreds of people, a lot of local New Zealand stunt performers that I know now, even later, so many years later, that are coordinating and so successful themselves. But in that movie, we would, John Mahaffey was directing second unit. I was over there with him a lot with charging horses down these steep hills, and then leaping horses. We put these jumps so the horses would jump over, and we'd set these kind of tunnels for the horses to jump, so it looked like they were just smashing everyone down. And then the big battles, of course. So yeah, that was early on in my career, and to be able to do that with Peter Jackson, the director, and that entire crew, and that scope of a movie, to my knowledge, it was the only one that did 3 back to back at once. So you might be filming film number 1, scene 23 in the morning, then film 3, scene 157. It was so much and so confusing, but what an opportunity and what an experience.
Absolutely. How long were you in New Zealand for as well?
Almost 2.5 years.
Wow.
Give or take. Yeah. We came, and I wasn't there the whole time. Would have probably been 3 or 4 years or more even. it was such an undertaking. I think after the first one came out, they went back and did a few reshoots to add to it. Of course, it was such a huge success.
And were you involved with the Black Riders as well? You know,
all that. Yeah. When they charging out of the castle, and I mean, everything was just. I felt like it was all a first time for so many things on that movie with Weta, their visual effects, their prop making, they just really, in that movie, in that time, they solidified themselves as a huge movie making machine, the Weta people, the digital, and it was unbelievable to see what they accomplished on that film. Unbelievable.
Definitely. And you alluded to the fact earlier as well that you had some of these people that you look up to, say like Vic Armstrong as well, because Vic Armstrong comes up a lot in the stunt performers I chat to. So are there any other stunt performers that you look up to, and do you have a particular stunt that's performed by someone else that's your favorite one as well?
For me, I think like the legend in the business, Vic is absolutely one of those people, but there's a guy named Terry Leonard here, which was his background was horses as well, but he's also a high diver. He did the Romancing the Stone. I think he went over the waterfall and they jumped out of the car and they landed in the water. But and back then they did everything for real. There wasn't CG. It was, hey, look, the car's going over, jump out, and it was real stunts, right? Not that we're not doing real stunts still, but I really feel that element of risk and danger in those times was so much more, and they were really pioneers. They were paving the way of things and really testing stuff that we use today, like descenders, decelerators, things like that. Or for the horse stuff, they were doing running W's, which were outlawed now because horses would get hurt, or trip lines. So you would just be flat out and the horse would just tumble over head over heels. Where now we cheat that with these rigs that are on like a rail system, and it's a fake horse, mechanical horse that flips, but it gives a similar look. But back then they just did it for real, and these were 1,500-pound animals flying through the air, land on you and that. But Terry Leonard would have to be my absolute one I look up to the most, because I just love to hear his stories. If you ever get a chance to talk to him, you should absolutely. He's an amazing storyteller. So is Vic Armstrong, if you haven't talked to him yet. But he's also an amazing storyteller and lovely, lovely people. Now, I was fortunate enough to do Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, which I doubled Shia LaBeouf in. Which was so fun because there was all this wonderful sword fighting in the back of these Jeeps and jumping from Jeep to Jeep and all this cool stuff, which is kind of an homage to the original Indiana Jones I forget which one, where he slides underneath the truck and kind of treks his way to the other side of it. And so cool to still do and have that adventurous movie and be a part of that with Harrison Ford. It was just so cool.
So do you think you would like to actually direct like a main feature? Because some stunt performers, stunt coordinators, like the John Wick director, Deadpool director, would you like to do your own feature film, do you think?
If the opportunity came, absolutely. And I know that now the studios are seeing that stunt people or stunt performers aren't just, hey, let's be daring and turn a car over or jump off a building. There's a lot of knowledge and experience there in filmmaking altogether. A lot of times you're shooting your own previs and doing stuff that ends up being shot for shot in the movie. So they see the value in that. And I know Chad Stahelski and Dave Leitch are huge pioneers in that for the entire stunt community. Another guy named David Ellis, which was probably one of the first that really was pioneering it, and a lovely human being, but also came from a stunt background. So having them kind of forge ahead and be extremely successful with it all, with the John Wicks and Deadpool, like you said, and Dave Leitch's movies, it's really, really amazing to see, and it gives everybody else a kind of step up for that direction as well, if that's something you like to do.
Yeah. Okay. And you mentioned as well that you were stunt double for Shia LaBeouf as well. And Are you this like double for Tom Cruise as well, or yeah? Okay, because
Yeah, I'd been with Tom. Yeah, I'd been with Tom for probably 11 years, 10 movies, I think, somewhere around there. And I did The Last Samurai was my first film with him, and then I ended on Jack Reacher because I went to coordinate The Lone Ranger. And then I went co-coordinated The Lone Ranger and then co-coordinated Captain America. And then I kind of started my coordinating career, which was nice. I came back and did Top Gun Maverick with him, years later. But yeah, I had an amazing, wonderful career with Tom. I learned so much from him. He's such a perfectionist in the way that the story's everything. What are the audience going to feel? How, like, he puts himself in the audiences and he does it for them. Truly an amazing performer, an amazing actor, and just like the best at what he does. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Good stuff. Right.
Yeah.
And if anyone was watching this this chat that we're having, could you offer any advice if they wanted to get into stunt performing?
I think a lot of it's about relationships and knowing and getting in. It's a very tight knit group around the world, really, for that matter. I think the more skills you have, the busier you're going to be and the more valuable you become, because you can be the best race car driver or best drift car driver or something, which is amazing if you're doing a big car chase movie. But if it's a car chase movie that has fights, fire, high falls, horsebacking or motorcycles, if you're a jack of many trades and not necessarily the best in your field, I think you become more valuable. And the films now travel around the world. So if me as a coordinator, I can bring one person that I know that can jump on a motorcycle, get in the car, prep a fire burn, I know that I don't have to bring 3 people, and it's just much more. That knowledge is extremely valuable.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. More strings to your bow. That's the trick. Yeah.
That is the trick, as far as I can, for my experience and that is the trick. For me, that's what worked great in my career, doubling so many people and being able to travel the world and be useful on many levels, for the production.
Yeah. Okay. And so if people wanted to know more about yourself, obviously you've got your IMDb page. People can look up your credits that you've done as well.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I have an Instagram page. I think it's Casey O'Neill Stunts as well. And then I have a www.caseyoneil.com is a website that has a lot of things on there as well. But as far as IMDb is a wonderful way to look at that stuff. Yeah, that's kind of it. I'm part of a group called Brand X Stunts, and that's brandxstunts.org. And there's about 49 other very professional, amazing stunt people in that group as well. And so I'm fortunate to be a part of that. And yeah, it's been I've been extremely blessed and fortunate. A lot of hard work, but also just very rewarding in the end.
Absolutely. And it doesn't feel like a job for you either.
No, that's the best part. My dad always said, if you can find something you like to do, you never have a day of work in your life. So it's so true. It is. If you can do anything in life that you enjoy, and then it's not work. It really doesn't become work. It's a passion at that point. So, and that goes for everybody in any aspect of life that you enjoy doing, and you're able to do it and make a living was even better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wise words. I like that. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time, Casey, and your knowledge, etc. And you've done so many amazing films. The films that I'm growing up with, and then the ones I look forward to seeing as well. It's just incredible, what you do, and it's just as I said, I'm a huge fanboy of yourself. So thank you so much for chatting to me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. It's such a pleasure to meet you and have a nice chat with you. And thank you so much for including me in your process and your show. And I can't thank you enough. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. So I hope you enjoyed that interview. If you've got any other recommendations on who you want me to interview, feel free to message me. I'm on stuntlive.com, or I'm on all the social medias at Stuntlives, and then also obviously the YouTube channel as well, Stunt Lives. So if you like the video, thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe, feel free to as well. So that's it for me for now. Hope you enjoyed this interview, and I will catch up with you soon with some more interviews with stunt coordinators and stunt performers in the world of TV and film. Bye for now.